Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Happy Tuesday. I'm going to be continuing Big Week this week. I can't think of a better name for it, to be honest with you. The second big model that I'm actually going to be doing is pack 10 of the Agora models release of Build Giga's Alien. As you can see, I've got one leg here, and we did that a few packs ago. We're actually finishing the second leg today, and we're going to be able to match them both up. But it is so big, isn't it? But it does look really good. I am happy with that. If you do want to get this for yourself, this is available through Agora Models and Hachette Partworks, depending on the territory you're in. And I have put all the links in the video description for that, so check that out. You can get this for yourself. You are going to need a lot of glue. You're going to need a lot of patience for this build as well, because there's lots of magnets that need to be put into place. Now today, I've already put the magnets in, so I'm saving a lot of time by doing that. But if I hadn't have done that, these build videos would be going on for days and days and days. So hopefully we can get through them today. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So we start with stage 69 today, and these are the parts in that. I've already taken the magnets out of stage 69 because, as I said, I've already attached them to the skin section that I need. These are all the parts we've got here. And the first thing I'm going to do is take these two plastic pieces here, and they're going to go together just like this. Now to put these together, I do have some connecting tabs here. So one in here and one in the other side. And what I'll do is I'm actually going to put the screws in that come in this. These are these black screws here. Onto this side first. The reason being is because I think they're going to be pretty tricky to put in if I don't do that. Especially because of this large wall section here. So I'll get screws in this side. And now I've done that, that'll enable me to put this over the top of that one. And put the screws in the other side. Excellent, so they're in. No join down the middle. Now I want to bring up this section here that we created in the last pack, which was stage 68. And I'm going to be putting these two parts together just here like that. Now once again, as you can see, we do have some tabs to put in. They're just going to go onto these points here. And here. And once again, the black screws just to hold these into place. And this is the last screw going in here. So now that is one complete piece, as you can see on the top camera there. Now the next thing they want us to do, I've already done, which is this skin piece here that I believe, again, we had in stage 68. We'd already put these 4 magnets in, but as you can see, I've put these 4 magnets in here as well. Doesn't matter what way round they go. And the reason for that is because this section here, which I've already put 4 magnets in as well, as you can see, that connects to this, no problems at all. But I need to put magnets in these 4 parts here as well. So to do that, I'm using my Gorilla Glue, which is on Amazon. On the flexible ones, I use Stormshore, but on the hard plastic, on the flexible ones, I use my Stormshore, but on the rigid plastic here, I just use normal thick super glue. Get the magnets, line them up with what goes underneath, and then just drop them into place. As you can see, they actually put themselves in the right polarity when you drop them. So again, line this one up over here, drop it in, perfect. Do the same on the other side, and that's the last one in there. So if I just take that off, those magnets are now in place, pushing them down on that whole section. Now we can put that to one side to dry. Now, I brought up this part of the leg, the other side of the thigh, which I'm just going to remove this section here. Oh, look, I've got some spare black screws. Because it's this area that I want here. Turn it over. And if you look on this side here, we've got 2 small indents for these little bits of piping here. So on the outside one here, we want B6. Let's get this tab cut off the end and put some glue in here. And then the one in the inside, I've got B7 looking like that. And there you go. They're both in. Now we're going to be putting glue just on these parts here, because I've got these 3 details to go in, and they're all shaped at the back. They've got different shapes so you know which way they're going in. So the first one's got a shape like this. Get that nice and glued up here. Perhaps even a little bit on the side. And it goes on like that. I'll do the same with the other two. I'm going to help myself here by using these clamps just to keep those into place. And there you go, when they're in, it should look like that, and that's all there is to do in that stage. That leads us on to stage 70. Let's get everything out here. And we're creating the ball joint at the start of this stage, which means I need this section here and this rubber ball joint here, and push that through to the other side. Now we do have some holes to push this into, so they come out this side. To help you out, if you get some tweezers, you'll be able to make sure you manipulate that so that that comes all the way through. So that looks like that. Do the same on the other side. So we're taking the other ball joint, putting that into the holes just here. And again, see on the top camera, they're all the way through. Then we're going to be putting this section through. So what we want to do is make sure we put this in the right way. Is I want this section here, again on the top camera, this one here to be facing this way round, so that the spindle part is pointing down. Then I can close this up by putting the top section on, just like that. Now we've got these massive screws and nuts in here, which I'm going to take out. I'm going to be dropping a nut in this side here, making sure it's flat. Again, tweezers can help me do that. Perfect. Hold that with my finger and then put a screw in from the other side and get that screwed in nice and tight, and there you go. I'm going to do that with the other two holes. There you go, they're all in. I can put that to one side and bring over what we just worked on, where we added these sections here in the last stage, because I've got two bits of piping to put on. One is just going to be going this way around here. That's the one that's labelled A4. And then the other one's just going the other way over on this section here, and this one's labelled A5. Now to help this go in, I am using some clamps here just to keep that into place while the glue is setting. So I'll leave that to dry to one side. Okay, I'll bring over this section here now, because I'm going to be putting the ball joint that we created into place. Now, this ball joint is going to go around this slot here, so the collar here is going into there, this way round, like that. And it's going to be held in place by this bracket here. That's just going to go over the top here, and again, held in with the black screws. Again, it takes two of these black screws, so here's the second one just going in here. Excellent. So that is that joint in. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So, stage 71. Look at that. Nice big sheath there for the knee. Just put all of that to one side, because I'm going to be creating what we've got here with this section that we created in the last pack. What I'm going to do is take this side of the thigh. I'm going to put one of these black rubber washers just over the top there. This is going to go in this way, like that, with this area here towards this side of the leg. Put another black washer over the top. Then I'm going to use this side with the joint to put them together. As a matter of fact, this black washer probably best to go in that side there. Otherwise it's just going to fall off. And then piece that together. Just like that. You can see we've almost got a leg, which at the moment can move very loose because I haven't put any joint in there, which is why I need this screw and nut. So just put the nut in that side, let's turn this over, screw through the other side and make that nice and tight. Now it needs to be tight enough to make that joint tight. You don't want that to be loose. You want that to have some resistance in there, like that. Now, it might be worth noticing that we haven't actually attached this section down yet with screws. We actually do that later. What we are going to do is put that knee section sheath on here. So that's going to go on this way of the leg. So again, if I've got this joint here, it's going on this way. I want to line up the holes on this knee piece with the holes just in the side of the leg here. So one there and one there. I'm holding them in with these flange screws. That's one side in, turn it over, just do the same on the points on this side. And once I've done that, I'm going to want to attach this joint to the other side of the skin, which means I'm going to be using glue. This is the bit that really does take the time, because you do have to make sure that each section is glued into place and that the glue is perfectly cured. So for that reason, I do half at a time. I do have my cable ties at hand here, and I'll get this end in first. Now I'm just going to keep moving down the different sections of this joint, and just do the same at the other side here. Some of these might be a bit too big for my cable ties, so I'm just going to string 2 cable ties together like this. I really don't want to be afraid to pull it hard like that. And there you go, that's all in place. I'm just going to let all of that dry now with all of these cable ties on it. Now this is where the magnets come in, because we've got the 2 sides of the calf here, and these are just going to be clipping to the sides of the magnets here. So one is going to go kind of like that, and then the other one, let me just get that in place there, and then the other one's just going to go on top here like this. And you see the magnets hold that into position. Now I'm going to be gluing these parts into place. I still need to be able to get to these cable ties though. So now I've got that in position, I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start putting together this bottom edge just here first. Now I'm going to get some more cable ties to do that. Now while I'm doing that bottom edge, I'm just going to, before I put another cable tie around here, I just want to glue this edge in here. So basically now the whole bottom of that skin is in place. Now we don't glue in any of this section here, so I can still get to these cable ties here because this is held in by these metal parts, which I'm going to do afterwards. But we are going to be securing these parts into place here. So once again, I'm going to put some glue in here and cable ties to keep that into place. Now I'm well aware how much that looks like overkill, but it's the only way to do it to make sure that this glue sets perfectly with no, well, we will have a seam, but a very invisible seam if you like. So I'm going to let that dry. And in the meantime, I'm going to create this metal part here, which is just a case of taking these 2 sections, putting them over each other like that, and securing them in with these silver screws. Now you will notice on the other side of this metal section, we do have these sections just here. We've got some piping to go into this, and that's C2 and C1. So I've got C1 here, and this one's C2. C1's just going into this side. So let me get this piping in. And again, I'm using these clamps. These are invaluable, these clamps. These are in my Amazon store, just so you know, and I have put a link back down in the description there. Now I'm going to put that to one side. They do want us to put this on the calf now, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait for the calf to dry, and obviously all this to dry for next. But I will show you what that looks like when that has all dried. But I am now going to be bringing over the calf, even though I do have these clamps all over it, because I'm going to be putting the screws in to hold this thigh section together. Now it takes 8 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to put them all in now. So that's that in place. Let's put that to one side. And just bring over this section that we were working on last time. And we've got one more pipe just to put in this curved section here. And this one's labelled A6. Now when we put this one in, you will notice that it actually comes off the other side. That's because when we've actually joined this to the leg, we get to wrap this round onto the other piece of skin. So I'm just going to keep this in just for a second. Get that nice and glued in. I think once again I will use one of my tabs here to help me. Then bring the leg over, and we're now at a stage where we're going to be putting the skin sections here onto this top section here. So the way this is going to kind of go is one section is going to go on here like this. Then the other section will be going on the other side just like this. So I'm going to do exactly what I've done to the bottom. I'm going to start gluing all of this into place. I think I can probably cut these off now so that the knee joint's not going to need the cable ties. I think it's probably best I do all of that. We'll come back and see how that looks. Okay, I just want to give you an idea of time. So I've done that now. Obviously, I'll put this metal part in the back there as well. That's what the leg's looking like from this side. That's what the leg's looking like from that side. That took an hour and a half to do that. So this is what I mean about taking your time when you're doing the gluing of this. Another thing that might help you out is when you actually glue these bits in here, make sure that these are inside the cavities in this area. You can glue them down as well, and that will help to keep the skin in place rather than parting at the seams there. But that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 72, as you can see, we've got the foot here that we're going to start assembling. But first, I do have another one of these little metal sections to put together. So this is just a case of putting these two parts together over the top, and then I just need one of the silver screws in a bit of oil just to keep that together there. Perfect. Now bringing the leg over again, what I want to do is just put a little bit of glue just around this inner edge here, because I'm about to put the last of the metal sections in that I've just created. And you want to make sure that this little trim here, which will have some piping on, follows the indents there. So it's going to go in this way and get that pushed in like that. Now I've allowed time for this to dry. On the ankle section here, I've got this sheath, which I'm going to be putting over the top. And I want to make sure that this detail here is on the same side as these three details here. So get this on. Put that to one side. And I'm going to make the foot now, which just like last time, I'm going to take these rubber grommets and put these in here, making sure that they come out the other side. So that's one. One in that side, there's two. I'm just pushing this up like a sock, just a little bit further. I can pull this down afterwards, just so I can get to this ball joint, because I'm now going to put the foot in. So this is going to go in that side there. The other side is going to go in here. And that's going to be held in with the silver screws and nuts. So just drop a nut in there, make sure it's flat, and then just screws through the other side. There's 3 of these to do this too. All we got to do then is just at these 2 holes at the bottom, I've got some black screws here, and they're going to screw in here to keep that together. And with the foot in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. This is stage 73. Got some skin for the foot here. But I do have these 2 metal plates to put into the leg. So again, if we look at this side here, these are just basically going to go probably on that camera. One in here, one in the top. What I want to do, once again, is just put some glue around this inner edge here. Now if I just turn that over on this side, you see we've got some piping here that we're going to need to put in. That's going to be D1, just find that one here, which is going to go onto that section there, and then D2 is just going to go behind it over here. So I'll get that in, and when they're in, that should look like that. Put that to one side, and I've got a couple of pipes that I need to put on the foot skin now. So first one's just going to go in there like that, and then the second one's just going to go in here like that. So I'll get them in, and that is all there is to do in that stage. So check this out. In stage 74, we've got the other part of the foot and some piping, but look, we've got the first of the abdominal skin looking like that. So put that to one side, because we are going to continue putting some piping in the foot here. And I need these two parts, E3 and E4, which are going to go into these final channels here. And there you go. That's all of those in place. Now, once again, this is just going to be a case of putting the foot on just like this. Now, it's going to need to be glued. We need to make sure that the toe is over this section here. So it's going to go in kind of like this. And then once again, I'm going to be using glue to hold all of this together. So I need glue down here, glue along the seam here, and glue just on the back heel section here. So once again, I'm going to come back when that's in place. And when that's done, it should look like that. I've still got a cable tie at the moment while I let that dry. Let's put that whole leg to one side. We've actually finished the leg now, even though it has got some cable ties still on it. We've got two legs. I'll show you at the end what they both look like together. But let's move on to the abdomen. And that's looking just like this. And we have got some piping to put into place on here. Now there's three pieces. I've got F3 just going in here. I've got F1 going to be going around here. And then finally I've got this really long one, which is going to go along there like that. So let's get these all glued in. So I have got some clamps helping me, but that's what those three look like when they're in. I am now going to be putting magnets into these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots. Doesn't matter which way round they go. So once again, I'll just drop some glue in there and put magnets into each position. And there you go. All the magnets are in there, and that's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 75, we're going to continue on with that abdomen, which means we're going to be putting the piping just on the other side here. So I'll get that in. That's basically using F6, which is this small one here, again going into the small space at the back, and then the two on the side. And when they're all in, they'll look like that. Okay, let's put that to one side. And I'm going to be bringing over this piece of the abdomen now. And I've got F9 and F8 to put into here. Basically, they're going to be going into the two parts here. And just down the bottom here. And once those two are in just like that, the last one is just going to go in here like that. And then all that's left to do is just to put these three pieces here just into these sockets here. These are skin appendages. That's what they're calling them. So that's all the pipes in just there. And I've got those skin appendages in there. I'm using clamps just to keep them in place for now. But I am going to be putting magnets again in each of the holes here. I've got the magnets in this bag. Again, they don't matter which way round they go. So I'll get these in. And when they're all in like that, that's all there is to do in that stage. So that brings us to stage 76, which just so happens to be the last stage of this pack. Very similar to what we've just done, except we do have this part here. So once again, I've got a couple of bits of piping that I'm going to be putting in first just on this section. So I'll get those in. And I've got this last piece here, just going to go down here. So that's looking like that. And then in the same way, I've got these skin appendages to put in just here. I'm telling you, these clamps just come in so handy for this build. But that's looking just like that. And once again, turn it over. And I've got space to put magnets in. Let's do that. And just get all of these magnets in place. So that whole piece is looking just like that. Put that to one side and then just bring over this plastic section here. And the last thing to do is just into this point here. I've got a tab to put in. And another one just on the end. And again, black screws just to keep those into place. And with that last piece done there, that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. So let's do a review. We've done this. We've started the abdomen here. So we've got this part of the abdomen. I can actually get rid of these clamps now, so let's just take these off. And then I've got this one side here and the other side just here, which I just completed. And then obviously we completed the leg. So let me get the other leg, which means I've now got 2 legs. Looking good, aren't they? This thing is going to be absolutely massive. Look. Oh, I'm such a silly sod, I am. Okay, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description. This isn't a bad build. I really do. A lot of people are worried about this build. You just need a really good supply of glue. Other than that, take your time. You would love this build. But if you do want to get this for yourself, it is in the video description. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.